everyone, it's Sharana from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Power Season 5, Episode 9, There's a Snitch Among Us, okay? And so, it was time for Daddy Teresi to get his karma, okay, y'all? So, oh my goodness, I guess we'll just go ahead and start with Teresi. So we hear that Connie's been put into hospice. Basically, Mock and Cooper are putting the pressure on Teresi, show him these pictures like, hey, we got pictures with you snitching. If you don't give us something by the end of this week, we're going to go ahead and send these pictures out and you're going to be a dead man regardless. So Teresi is wrestling with what he's going to do because he's okay with incriminating Ghost, but Tommy is actually grown on him, and he's starting to really care about him as his son. And we see that there's been to the help of Connie, who could have just been like, you could have took your bastard child somewhere else. I don't care about him. Snitch on him and get rid of him. But as Connie is dying, she's telling him like, hey, I will feel so much better knowing that you have some type of family to help take care of you. And so she's encouraging him to not snitch on Tommy, to actually get a really good father-son relationship with him so she can be at peace with how he's going to deal with her passing away, okay? And so we see that Angela ends up figuring out that Teresi is the snitch, and so she tells Ghost, and I'm just like, this don't sound right. So you mean to tell me that old dude been keeping his little informant secret, and then all of a sudden he just gonna walk in your room and be like, oh yeah, Angela, it's Tommy Ian's dad, Teresi. He could have just said Teresi. Like, he didn't even have to get into all of this. But he tells her anyway. And I'm like, girl, it's a trap. And this is why I think Angela is so dumb, because she fell right into it. She fell right into it to the point where they bring her in. Tamika finally brings her in, and she was just like, ma'am, you're the center of all of this. We have you. We told you the information. You fell right into our plan, and he's now murdered because of you. So who did you tell? And so we see the season finale is going to center around Angela, and how is she going to flip on Ghost? Are they everybody going to stick together and stick to their story so nobody will go down for it? We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just like, Angela, how dumb could you be? Like, why would you tell Ghost of all people? I just don't understand it. So it's just, I don't even feel sorry for you to a certain extent, because it's just like, I don't understand. Like, a child could know that they're telling you this to like basically trap you. And so I gotta talk about Tariq, because I don't know how Tariq's still alive after how he was talking to his parents at the beginning of this episode, but Jesus. So we see that Tariq is basically Tommy, Ghost, and Tasha. They're all arguing because they're just like, look, you know, you kept this from us, and like, you totally messed all of this up. Kanan to kill all these cops. It's all over the news. Like, what were you thinking? And so she was just like, you don't never listen to what anybody else has to say. And then Ghost just been out of line all season because he tries so hard to blame things on everyone else but himself, but he doesn't realize how the way he treats people and how he hides things from people, how it leads him into the predicaments that everybody is basically in now, because they cannot trust Ghost, because Ghost only thinks about himself. He tries to talk himself into believing that everything he does is for the sake of his family and for his friends, but it's really just him being selfish. And so it was just so annoying to watch him this entire episode yelling at Angela, yelling at Tasha, talking about, y'all should have listened to me. I would have had this taken care of. How could you keep this from me? Dude, you just spent the whole like 5 seasons of Stars keeping stuff from people, of Power keeping stuff from people. And so Tariq is like, I don't even understand what y'all arguing about, because like, you guys got out of this because of me. Like, I helped you guys. You got to win because of me. I'm the only one who's lost someone. I lost Kanan. I basically chose you, my parents, over Kanan, and like, y'all don't even care right now. And so basically Tommy and them go off on him, and then like, he was just like, you're going back to school. And I'm just like, why are y'all still sending this kid back to school? Like, you guys, like, I know that they feel in their heart of hearts that they're trying to keep him out of this, but the way that you're just not supervising your child, it just makes no sense. And then when they made some comment about like, I'm the only kid you got left or something. Let me look at my notes, because they were just Yeah, okay, that's what happened. Ghost little trick ass. He gonna say, what, is one dead kid not enough? I said, Ghost, are you serious? Like, you really doing this right now? Like, you really being like that petty right now. And so Tariq, he was saying something real. He was like, when he was taking him to the train station and Ghost was like having a talk with him, he was just like, I need you to teach me the game, Ghost. And then he was like, I'll kill you before I teach you the game. And then like he was like, did I stutter? And then Tariq was like, you heard what I said? I said, how this kid still got a mouth? I would got the slap taste out of my mouth. They probably would have cut my tongue out by now. I just don't understand how Tariq had enough like time to even have all these little smart ass remarks to his parents. But on the other hand, I don't understand why you're still putting him on the train and y'all having this conversation. He asking you to teach him the game and all this crazy stuff. And Tariq said something so profound, not even profound, but it's just like, what I enjoyed about this conversation is almost like in the conversation between Tariq and his dad, Tariq had to help Ghost realize, like, you keep thinking that these suits like change who you really are, that you're a murderer, that you sell drugs, that you're a cheater, that you're a bad father. And then you think that sending me to this school is going to erase what I've seen, the murder that I've seen. I've been kidnapped. I've watched someone be murdered in front of me. Like, you think that trying to run away and hide and paint this fake happy picture is going to change where we are today, and it's not. And so I think it's like very true on what he says to him. And I felt like everybody was just reading Ghost, like just reading him for his entire life, like everybody should have been this entire season. And so we see that once he drops him off, he tells him to go in. This, like, you couldn't even walk him to make sure he got on the train. I would have just rolled him to the train and had a talk with him the whole time. But of course, Ghost only cares about himself. He walks away. Tariq goes back out and then he leaves to go meet with the Italians to make a deal with Vincent, basically saying like, hey, I still have Kanan's weight to push, and so I want you to let me sell these for you. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to give you one chance and we'll see what happens from there. And so, yeah, I just don't know. It's like, I don't even blame Tariq anymore because his parents are so horrible at parenting. And you would think that they would be better because one of their children died. And I know y'all got a lot going on, but even Tasha, you brought Tariq into all of this with how you decided to set up Kanan, which was selfish on your end as well. And so we see that, like, Tommy leaves, Tommy goes with Keisha. They trying to be real with one another. I guess they're really trying to make us believe this relationship. And so they're talking about how they're trying to be done with Tasha, and Ghost and Keisha talks about how she feels like Tasha took it too far, trying to ask her to lie for them. And so when Keisha was like, have you ever murdered anyone? I said, girl, you know Tommy crazy as hell. I don't even know why you asking him something that you already know the answer to. Did Tommy kill someone? Girl, wait till you find out about Holly, okay? So, I don't know what's gonna happen with their relationship, but she basically said, I'm down, I'll lie for you. If that means it's gonna protect you, protect what we have, then I'll do what I have to do. Is my choice to make. And as long as she realizes that, I think that that's fine. So we see that Tommy gets into it with the Italians because they said that something doesn't seem right. You know, they almost lost their product because their product got searched when they went to the prison because they're selling their drugs in the prison. And so, you know, everyone's pointing fingers at one another. Teresa's best friend doesn't mess with Tommy like that and doesn't like him, and they get into it. And so he basically have a talk with Teresa, and he just like, I don't trust Tommy. Like, you need to hurry up and do what you said that you were going to do. And so Teresa is just continuously like going back and forth on, is he going to give up Tommy? Is he not going to give up Tommy? And we see that he finally makes a decision to implicate Ghost, but doesn't say anything about Tommy. And so Teresa's friend overhears him. And so they get into an argument because he was like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, I knew you got attached to him. Tommy come in and the dude's been telling the Tommy, like, your daddy a snitch. And then he stabbed him. And I was like, damn, you just stabbed your best friend like that? Even Tommy was looking like, fool, what you stabbed him for? But he went ahead and helped his dad to get rid of the body. But I was just like, something not adding up. And even then, Tommy was kind of just like, this doesn't seem right. And so we see that during the course of the episode that Angela gives the photos that she took of the pictures to Ghost. And then Ghost in turn goes to Vincent which he couldn't go to Tommy because they've already been beefing over his dad. Ghost's been saying the whole season, why are you so close to him? Why are you telling him all this? Even Tommy's mama said that. And so we see that he gives it to Vincent, and basically Vincent tells Tommy, hey, you basically need to kill your father. And so I really felt for Tommy because I thought it was so sweet that he cared about his father so much, and he knew that the only reason he did this was to be with Connie. So he takes him to Connie because Connie's in hospital. She's going to die basically any day now. There's nothing else that they can do. He takes her to see Connie, and Teresi and Connie have this conversation, and she tells him, like, I'm so happy you're trying to make your relationship work with Tommy. And he was just like, he knows that he's probably going to die. But the conversation that he has with Connie is just like, oh, you ain't shit. But, like, Connie don't deserve this either. But, yeah, so he tells her, I'll see you tomorrow, which we know he ain't going to see her tomorrow. And they basically are going back and forth in their discussion. It seems like Tommy's going to let him get away. But instead, he doesn't. He ends up shooting his father. And I really felt for Tommy because it almost seems as though Tommy, over the course of these 5 seasons, has always had to choose between his happiness and everybody else, making sure everybody else is protected. And so when Holly was causing issues and threatening to basically have Ghost killed and rat him out, then Tommy had to kill Holly. And then Tommy had to kill his father. And even when Tommy was like about to kill Ghost, he almost had to kill Ghost. And so I feel as though that Tommy really doesn't have anyone there for him. And when he makes these connections, when he tries to get close to someone, it always ends up with them being killed at his hands. And so when we see him go back to his mom, it's like, you were right. He ignored Keisha's phone call, and he kind of goes back to his mother. It's just kind of just like, man, Tommy, I really felt for him this episode because that has to be really hard to kill your father and to know that basically your whole relationship with your father wasn't real. And so I'm just interested to see how he's going to deal with having to kill his father. What's the conversation going to be like? Is he going to realize that Ghost is the one who took the pictures to Vincent to have him kill his father? I'm trying to think. Proctor, okay, we already uninvited his ass from the cookout. Now they didn't talk this fool into wearing a wire. And so I'm just like, what were you thinking? And so, he goes to the nightclub, he's shaking he just looked nervous. I'm just like, Proctor, this is not even you. You're not even doing this right. And then Jamie's looking at him like, what is wrong with you? And so he was like, you haven't hired me. He was like, oh, you just trying to make sure I'm gonna pay you. And he was like, I got you, we family, man. And he was like, since we are family, he writes on a napkin like I'm wearing a wire. And then Ghost, I love when Ghost makes these faces, like when he be pissed off, but he has to kind of be cool, but it just looked like he finna kill you as soon as he can. So he has to tell him that he has the wire. He asks him these questions to get him to answer how they need him to answer the questions. Then he disconnects the cord because he signed a paper with the attorney's office basically saying if he doesn't get something, that they will never bother him again. And so then Jamie chokes the hell out of him, okay? He was just like, what is wrong with you? And then Proctor told him everything that we've been saying, you've been whipped. You doing all this stuff for Angela, like getting everybody else in trouble over this woman who's probably going to flip on you because they're not even really trying to get you. They are trying to get you, but they're really trying to bring Angela down with you. And so do you really think that Angela is going to choose you over her own freedom? Which leads us into next week's episode, the season finale, which will be an extended episode. But we see that Angela and Dre have been working together because Dre is basically sitting in hot water with, I think her name is Alicia, the sister of the Jimenez, because her brother's head was found in a nightclub. She basically tells him, you need to, do what you said you were going to do. You need to get us into Europe, expanding our territories, and until you can do that, Cristobal will be in charge. And basically Cristobal telling him that basically she was trying to get in them draws and they was finna get it, but then Dre snitched. And basically the feds got them, Angela got them, but no one's really happy that Angela got them because they know that they're about to charge her with conspiracy. So I don't know what's gonna happen to Dre. It's funny how at the beginning of the season starts off with you really needing Dre to get his, and it's almost just like Dre is an afterthought. It's just like you try to be this big kingpin or drug lord or whatever, and it's just like you don't even matter now. You got your own game taken away from you. So everything's just in limbo. Nobody's really in power. Cristobal, old girl in jail. Dre ain't got nothing to hold on to. Angela knows she's about to be implicated. who got the power? Y'all calling it power, but ain't nobody really got no power. I guess maybe Tariq right now. And that little boy don't even know what the hell he doing. But this was a great episode. Y'all really giving it to me, okay? I can't wait to see this next week's episode, the season finale. Y'all better have an extra 30 minutes added on to it. I'm trying to make sure, let me look at my notes. Like, do y'all think that Terry's gonna come back? Because, like, they ain't said nothing about him, but he mentioned his name. So I don't know, because they can't get Proctor, they're gonna go to Terry now. I don't know what's gonna happen, but let me just make sure that I got everything. But I think that's pretty much everything, y'all. So those are my thoughts on Power Season 5, Episode 9. There's a snitch among us, and the snitch is dead, y'all. He just shot his daddy. He dead. So I need to figure out who else is gonna die in this season finale. But as always, my name is Sharonda from Pay Your Weight, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will see you soon.